Hi everybody. Today we are going to be starting our next unit, which is going to be on proportionality. The focus of today's lesson is going to be on rates and unit rates. So hopefully these notes won't take too long. You'll get through the video quick and you'll have time for the practice for today. So first thing is that a rate is a ratio that compares two quantities with different kinds of units. An example would be 100 words and 20 minutes. Or not 20 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay. So really you see rates pop up in the real world all the time. Words per minute, miles per gallon. There's a whole bunch of examples that I'm sure you could probably think of off the top of your head as well. When a rate is simplified, so like 10 over 2 is not simplified. When a rate is simplified so that it has a denominator of 1, one has a denominator of 1, it is called a unit rate. This is true all the time. Whenever you have a fraction where the denominator comes out to 1, it's called a unit rate, because that's how much it is for that unit. So to find a unit rate, we write two quantities as a fraction, just like we did with our example up here. Our two quantities were 100 words and 2 minutes, so we write it as a fraction, 100 words over 2 minutes. Step 2 then is to divide both the numbers, both the numerator and denominator, by the denominator. Let me just say that one more time. Divide both the numerator, meaning the top number, and the denominator, meaning the bottom number, by the bottom number. By the denominator. So in this example, we would divide 100 by 2, because that's the denominator, and we would divide 2 by 2. Doing this, we'll create a denominator of 1, which is a single unit, means 1. Which is true, because if we're always dividing the denominator by denominator, that always comes out to 1, right? If I would take 5 divided by 5, we know it's going to equal 1. 2 divided by 2 is going to equal 1. Anytime you take a denominator divided by a denominator, we always get 1, which is going to be our unit rate. And then write unique units of measurement for both. So in this example of 100 words over 2 minutes, our goal is to figure out how many words you can type, or how many words it is, in 1 minute. So to do that, we divide the numerator by 2, and we divide the denominator by 2. 100 words divided by 2 comes out to 50 words. 2 minutes divided by 2 comes out to 1 minute. Or another way of writing this, if it's 50 words over 1 minute, would be 50 words per minute. 50 words per minute. Let's look at some practice problems. Problem 1. Alex can run 24 miles in 3 hours. What is his average speed in miles per hour? I would say the most tricky part about these questions is figuring out what number should be the numerator, what number should be the denominator. Your key is to look for what it's asking. It's asking for his average speed in miles per hour. That is my unit. Miles per hour. When you see the word per, I want you to think of division. Per means it's a fraction, meaning it wants miles per hour. Miles over hours. So in looking at this problem, I want to do miles over hours. 24 miles over 3 hours. But that's not a unit rate currently, because the denominator is not 1. So to find it, we're going to divide the top and bottom by 3. Divide by 3 over 3. Yeah. So 24 divided by 3 comes out to 8. 3 hours divided by 3 comes out to 1. So it's 8 miles for every 1 hour. So what is his average speed per mile? Well, it's 8 miles per hour, or 8 miles over 1 hour. You could write that as 8 miles per hour. Okay, that's his unit rate. That is his average speed per hour, 8 miles per hour. Number 2, you buy 5 pounds for $35. We want to figure out how much does 1 pound cost. Okay, so we want the cost per pound. I know when there's 1 pound, what is the cost? I know the cost for 5 pounds, so I can write that as 35 over 5. That's $35 over 5 pounds. So I know to find the unit rate, I need to divide by the denominator, divide by 5, 5 over 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that's $7 for every 1 pound. Or $7 per pound. And that's my unit rate. Alright. Last question on the notes then is the cost of different sizes of orange juice are shown in the table below. Which container costs the least per ounce? Okay, trying to find the one with the least cost per ounce. Meaning I want the cost over ounces. How much does it cost for 1 ounce of each of these different sizes of orange juice, right? This is a 16-ounce size orange juice, a 32-ounce, a 64-ounce, and a 96-ounce. So, if we start here with the 16-ounce, the total cost is $1.28. To find the unit rate, I'm going to take the cost of $1.28 over my 16 ounces. I'm going to divide by my denominator, which is 16. So at this point, I don't think you'll be able to do 1.28 divided by 16. You're going to need a calculator. So either use the calculator you have, you can use Google as a calculator, but that will come out to $0.08 for 1 ounce. You can leave that as your answer, $0.08, but that looks a little weird. Hopefully you can think of another way to express $0.08. Another way to express that would be saying that it is 8 cents for 1 ounce. Okay, every ounce costs 8 cents. So the cost per ounce is 8 cents per ounce. This is the unit cost. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for 32 ounces. We'll do $1.92 divided by 32 ounces. Divide both the top and bottom by 32. So 1.92 divided by 32 comes out to $0.06 over 1 ounce, which that is the same as 6 cents over 1 ounce. So the cost per ounce is 6 cents per ounce. So between these two options, which one would it make sense more, or which one would make more sense to buy? It would make more sense financially to buy the 32-ounce orange juice. All right. 64-ounce, same idea. We're going to take 2.56 over 64, and then divide both numerator and denominator by 64, so we get a denominator of 1. When you do that, it'll leave you with about 0.04 over 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 4 cents for 1 ounce. So the cost per ounce is 4 cents per ounce. Which makes sense. Now, the 64 ounce would be the cheapest option. Typically, when you buy in bulk, right, the bigger stuff you buy, it tends to be a little bit cheaper. So that does make sense. The last one, the 96 ounce, I'm going to take 3.36 divided by 96. Divide the numerator and denominator by 96. That works out to about 0.035 dollars per ounce, or 3.5 cents for 1 ounce. Which kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't. You can't really have half a cent, right? A cent is the smallest unit of measure, but that is fine because we're not buying 1 ounce of this, right? We're buying 96 ounces at a price of 3.5 cents per ounce. So even though that does come out to a fraction, that is still fine, right? This is just how much it would cost per ounce. We're not buying it per ounce. It's just if we're trying to figure out which one makes more financial sense, we're getting a better bargain getting the 96 ounces because we're only paying 3.5 ounces compared to the 64 ounces where we're getting 4 cents per ounce. So if that made sense with rates of change, not rates of change, rates and units rates, please make sure you have everything on this paper filled out, and then you will have a couple practice assignments to work on. Thanks, guys.